Yes. अरहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी राग ते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर चोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। So welcome back to another class on this Nai Chakra. And yesterday we had discussed about number 1, conventional point of view. What is its name? Figurative, non-existent, conventional point of view. Okay, that is what we discussed yesterday. While discussing, there was one discussion on rights and responsibility. Right. So that point was about that when you exercise rights, then simultaneously you have the responsibility. So there I want to express it as cause and effect relationship, you know. So now if you want Samyak Darshan, then your responsibility would be to do decision making. Now, if you want decision making as the work that is to be done, then contemplation would be the responsibility. Okay. So, if you consider contemplation as the work to be done, then reading the scriptures would be responsibility. Okay. So, for every right that you get, there is a responsibility attached to it. Okay. So now generally speaking, people want always the rights, but they don't want to do the responsibility. You want the effect, but you don't want to work on the cause. Okay. That's a general problem across all the people. Okay. And this particular Nai point of view teaches us that you do the responsibilities, the rights will come to you automatically. Okay. So this was the one example that I was missing yesterday, and I was not able to recall also. So I said, leave it now. But then I remembered, and now I have expressed it. So now let me share it. Okay, where it has gone. 1 minute. Why it's not showing? I think now it will be. Yes. One step you miss, and the problem starts, Okay, so this is what we were discussing, classification, and the first one we have already discussed. So now we are going to go ahead with the second one, second viewpoint. So the first one was असद्भुत व्यवहार नहीं, non-existent conventional point of view. The second one is literal conventional point of view. Sadbhut, okay. Charit, upcharit. Figurative, non-existent, conventional point of view now would be literal, non-existent, conventional point of view. Yeah, this one. So this is number 2. Anupcharit, asadbhut, व्यवहार नहीं. Literal, non-existent, conventional point of view. So what does this point of view teaches us? This point of view establishes the unity of the soul with the body and material karma, referring to them as one's own. Okay. So the first one was something which is different from the soul, which is different from the body. Okay. Distant products. It established the relationship between the distant association and the soul, the number 1. Number 2, it has come further in, and now the body and the karma. Okay. The body, that is now karma, and the material karma, dravya karma. Okay. So this point of view establishes the unity of the soul with the body and material karma, referring to them as one's own. This is my body, this is my karma. Okay. Just because it's a conventional point of view, so the depiction is like that. It establishes a dynamic relationship of being the doer and bearer of these. Okay. So you are portrayed as a doer from this perspective, conventional, literal, non-existent conventional point of view. Okay. So now when you come to the second one, the weightage of truth is more. Okay. Earlier you were saying that this is my car, this is my home, all fast, distant object associations, right? But now you have come little further towards your soul, and now you are considering your body and your karma to be yours. You are a doer of those. So this second point of view has done so much of thing that it has stopped you from blaming others. Your karma is what is giving you fruition, and not anybody external person or thing is giving you any it's causing you any kind of sorrows. Okay. Your own karma that you have bound earlier, that is coming into fruition, and because of that such and such situations are happening in your life, and so you should not blame others, okay, for your present situations. So this particular point of view establishes a dynamic relationship of being the doer and bearer of these. Now the meaning of the word, whole word, anupcharit, that is literal. The substances like the body and karmas are directly connected to the soul and share its spatial location. They are on the same pradesh. Okay. Ek kshetravga sambandh. Okay. Spatial location. So their association is considered literal, not merely figurative. So figurative would be formal and this is informal. Okay. So this association is considered literal. Okay. Non-existent despite spatial closeness. Despite spatial closeness. These substances, body and karmas, are not part of the soul's true nature or essence. Therefore, they are termed non-existent in relation to the soul. Okay. So the external associations were also non-existent, and this body and karma are also non-existent. But the difference is in the first nay, those were far distant objects. And here you have come closer. Okay. So body and karma are very close to the soul. The third is conventional. The perceived unity between soul and these directly related substance is accepted only conventionally, not as a reality. This explanation comes from a single perspective, emphasizing spatial proximity. Hence, it is a one-sided viewpoint. Okay. So this is the meaning of the word. Now, the next. What are the highlights of this particular point of view? Okay. What is the role of this perspective? The first one. The primary role of this point of view is to illuminate the presence of the soul within the body. So my soul is within my body. It cannot be outside my body. Okay. So it's illuminate the presence of the soul within the body. So you should not go to any temple or any religious place to find your soul. Your soul lies within your body. Okay. Number two, it guides individuals to limit their attachments to the body. Okay. Earlier, our attachments were with the associations, my house, my car. Now that has all been eradicated. Okay. Now we come to the body. Okay. It guides individual to limit their attachments to the body. So that much attachment has been reduced. Okay. We have renounced the attachment to external associations like car, home, family, children, all kinds of possessions. Now we have come little bit near and we are considering the body. Okay. Up to the body is our attachment and encourages them to seek the self within rather than in the external world. So this much work this number 2 Nai has done. Third perspective. It imparts knowledge about the internal instrumental causes. Since there are two components, one is body and the other is material karma. So this material karma acts as an instrumental causes. It's a nimit. Okay. Number 4, this point of view advises us to be mindful of our mental, bodily, and verbal activities and encourages ethical, non-violent behavior. Because you are contained in this body, so you should be mindful of your mental thoughts, bodily activities, and the verbal, the speech that you make. Okay. You should be mindful, and it encourages ethical, non-violent behavior. So you should not behave in such a manner that there are enough of violence. Okay. So this encourages ethical and non-violent behavior because it establishes a relationship between the soul and the body. Okay. If you do any activities at the mental level, bodily level, or verbal level, simultaneously, there is going to be some kind of violence. Okay. So we have to be mindful. Fifth point, it asserts that the soul is the performer of its mental, bodily, and verbal activities, binding material karma and thereby suffering the consequences accordingly. Okay. Soul is the doer of mind, speech, and body activities. And because of that, new material karmas are being binded, okay, and thereby suffering the consequences accordingly. So when you have bound the karmas, when it will come into fruition, you will only be suffering the consequences. Sixth point, it helps mitigate attachments and aversion towards the external world. So now the external world is out of picture. Now only body and the material karma. To that extent, we are doing attachments and aversions. So this much reduction has happened. Earlier, we were doing attachments and aversion to all the external factors. Now we are just limiting ourselves to the body and the karma, leaving everything outside the whole external world. Number 7. From this perspective, the soul is understood to possess 5 types of bodies. Okay. Karman. Yesterday also we discussed that Karman body is always there with the soul. Even when it leaves this body and goes to another body, in the transit phase, this karmic body is there with it. The Tejas body is also there with it. Okay. So these two bodies remains with the soul always until it gets liberated. Okay. So this soul is understood to possess 5 types of bodies. So Karman Tejas is common to the human, across all humans. Audaric only relates to the human. Vaikralic relates to the uh, heavenly beings and the hellish beings or infernal beings. And Aharak. Okay, Aharak is a special kind of thing. It's again a body. It's called Aharak body. When a monk has some doubts in his mind, at that point of time, he has got some special power. And through that power, a uh, small body-like structure comes out of the head, and it goes and clears the doubt of the monk and comes back. Okay, this is called Aharak body. So these are the 5 kinds of body, and the soul is the possessor of all these 5 types of bodies.
Sir, what is the English word for karmic body?
Karmic body is karmic body only.
So karmic body is karmic body.
What for? Pardon? Come again?
So Karman Tejas we talked about, no?
Yeah. So
So sir,
Karman is the name of the body, and it is associated with karmas. So it is called karmic body. So Karman body and karmic body is the same. Okay.
so sir, does this mean like the karmas that are attached to our spatial
Yes,
points?
yes, yes,
So
yes.
those are okay.
That is only the karmic body.
Okay.
So further use of this particular point of view. Number 2, Charnan Yoga and Karnan Yoga primarily relies on this point of view. Okay. So all the activities of the mind, speech and body which forms a part of Charnan Yoga is being said from this point of view. And regarding Karnan Yoga, because this point number 2 also consists of karmas. Okay. So all the karma theory are related to number 2. Okay. So whenever we say karma, you should understand it will be always be number 2. Okay. Anything related to body and karma is related to number 2. This perspective also includes a few statements from Pratman Yoga, like description of Tirthankar's bodies, their sermons, etc. Okay. So all these are, of course, matter substance. Okay. But in Pratman Yoga, when they describe the body of a Tirthankar, like Adinath Bhagwan was 500 Dhanush giant, and Mahavir Bhagwan was only 7 feet. So all these descriptions are from number 2. Okay. So the stuti of the Tirthankar, the Bhaktamar Stotra. Okay. So that stuti, Bhaktamar Stotra, is related to this number 2 viewpoint. Okay. So now another point, good point. Do not harm any creature. This point of view teaches us that do not harm any point of view. Okay. And it also propagates to be non-violent. Okay. You may see a small ant, 2 cents, 3 cents being insects. And in that body particular, there is the soul. So if you crush that body, considering it to be a matter substance, then simultaneously you are crushing the soul also. Okay. And at the same time, you are binding infinite new karmic bondages. Okay. So this point of view teaches us not to harm any creature, because each and every creature consists of soul. Soul is now have taken the form of that creature. Okay. So we should not harm any creature, and the behavior of non-violence is being propagated from this point of view. Then the second one is soul is bound to 8 karmas. Okay. All these 8 karmas forms the description of number 2 viewpoint. Okay. Literal, non-existent, conventional point of view. The third is Tirthankar Bhagwan's divine sound emanates from his body. Okay. So that is also forming a part of number 2. So body and body's parts. Okay. So the other day, last week, we saw an example that the lady is making a chapati by his hand. Okay. First one was lady is making the chapati, number 1. Then the lady is making chapati by his hand. So then it becomes 2. So it does not only contains the body, okay, even the parts of the body is considered to be a matter of this number 2 nay. What is important about this? I am distinct from the body. Okay. Karma and me, the soul, are distinct entities. Okay. A proper understanding of this viewpoint is to recognize that our relationship with the body is merely a convention, not a reality. Okay. So body and soul are 2 different entities and they never become one. Both remain separate only. Okay. So relationship with the body is not a real one. It's only a conventional. Second, furthermore, it emphasizes that karmas are incapable of causing our happiness or sadness, as true happiness originates from within. Okay. So karmas are incapable of causing our happiness or sadness, because the karma theory is all related to number 2 viewpoint. And here it said the karmas are incapable of causing our happiness or sadness. It is our past deeds that is bringing us happiness or sadness in our life. Okay. So this point of view states that karmas are incapable of causing our happiness or sadness, as true happiness originates from within. Next, in terms, so this is the last point. In terms of truth value, this viewpoint holds greater weight than the previous one, but less than the next one. That is number 3. Now let me see my chart if I have missed anything. So indirectly, this particular point of view because it relates us our relationship with the karma. So the external persons or things are not to be blamed, are not to be given any considered to be of flaws. Okay, it is the flaws of our own past karmas that has come into fruition, and no any external entity should be blamed. Okay, and then we also see Charnan Yug, Karnan Yug, Pratman Yug, and we should utilize our speech and body activities for the betterment of ourselves and not use it in any sensory pleasures. That inspiration is also being given us from the number 2 point of view. Okay, so this is all we have to discuss about this. So now we move on to the third one. So now the Sadbudh Vyavhar Nyay is starting. Okay, so that Sadbudh Vyavhar Nyay, existent conventional point of view. So the first two one were non-existent. Now this is existent because it is Sadbudh. Okay, Upcharit Sadbudh Vyavhar Nyay. Yeah, Priyanka, what do you want to ask?
Sir, just want to clarify. So first, before we went on to this topic,
Huh.
we were saying the past karmas or past events, but past events means past karmas only, right, sir?
Yeah, karma and the effect related to that karma.
Okay, but then, sir, but it also says like karma is not responsible, past events are responsible. So I'm a little unsure because in the example previous to that one, we said karma ka uday hai, isliye incidents are happening.
Uh-huh.
But then in the
So you
next
should not
example,
blame the others, right? That was the point, right?
yes, yes, yes.
Yes. And now it is giving responsibility to the karmas. Okay. So you should not
Okay,
blame any external entity for your misdeed or whatever happening in your life. There is nobody to
yeah,
blame because it is our past karma that has come into fruition, and because of that, such and such situations are happening in our life. So this much thing, this number 2 nai helps us in establishing that.
sir, can I ask a follow-up question on this
Yes,
only?
yes, yes, definitely.
So, sir, doesn't it mean then we are to be blamed for our own past karmas or this?
Yeah. What? Please repeat the question again.
Yes, sir. So, sir, basically, because we are saying that no one else is to be blamed, which
Yes,
is fine, and we
fine.
are saying how karma's fruition has come into play. That's why these
Yeah,
events or incidents are happening.
right,
But at the same time, sir, those karmas were bound by our soul
right,
and by us, by our deeds. So,
right.
soul, the karta, is the doer of this, right?
Yes, soul is a doer of this. Right.
So, sir, if the soul is a doer, then how can I consider that my soul is pure?
So we are not now considering that the soul is pure. That will come at number 8. We are now still at number 2. Okay. Gradually we will move towards 8. Okay. So this is a sequential discriminative knowledge that we are practicing. Okay. So,
Uh,
so
This
we
is from the conventional point of view, Priyanka. We have not
ah,
reached the real point. It is from the conventional that the soul is the doer. Okay?
and even in
so
real point of view, the first 3, 5, 6, and 7 are again kind of conventional only. Only when you
okay,
go to number 8, then you will be an observer, you will be not be a doer, a karta, a bhokta, you know.
okay. So, sir, like basically, we are learning the different viewpoints, but this viewpoint that it says so, if suppose an incident happens like in our practical lives,
Right.
we are not supposed to take the the viewpoints of that we just discussed. We are probably going to take the
No, no.
viewpoints that are
See,
going to
if
be
you take
studied.
number 2, if you take the help of number 2, then at least you will not blame others, right?
Yes.
But again, having said that, when you want to realize yourself, when you want to be in happy space, then you have to go to number 8. That I am only
Okay.
an observer. It's not happening to me. It's not happening to me. I am not. I am unaffected.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So when you
Okay.
want to practice discriminative knowledge to that extent that you want to realize yourself, then you have to go to straight number 8.
And
Okay.
sir, that can happen in fourth Gunasthan also.
Yeah. So when you realize yourself, that is the 4th stage. Yeah. So
Okay.
this discriminative knowledge starts from 4th stage only.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank
And
you. Yeah.
why we are knowing all this viewpoint? Because in Jinwani, you will if you read Karnan Yog, if you read Pratman Yog, they will say that you had done such and such karma earlier, that's why you are suffering. Okay. So then at that point of time, you know the perspective, so you will be able to absorb that fact. Otherwise, you will have a doubt in your mind that soul is not the doer, and why they are saying that you are just enjoying the fruition of what you did earlier. Okay. So,
Okay, sir.
so to
Understood.
stop that doubt, to eliminate that doubt, this perspective are to be understood. So what will happen now? Once you know the 8 perspectives, then whatever comes, whatever reflects in your knowledge screen, you will be able to account those events in any of the 8 nayas. And when you account these in any of the 8 nayas, that is the time you are able to practice the discriminative knowledge. Okay. So you should know all the 8 accounts. Okay. This is number 1. This is being said from number 2. This is being said from number 3. Okay. So you should know all the 8 viewpoints. Okay. And if you are knowing the viewpoint, then it will not appear as abnormal to you. You know, it's okay. It's okay from the conventional point of view that I am the doer of my anger. No problem. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Understood. Thank you.
Yesterday in the beginning, I explained all these logics, why we are learning this, you know. In the next sem, will be studying Sem6. Now, this is the last sem that we are like learning new things. The next semester, we will be applying these things, only applications. Okay. So understand all these principles very nicely. Also, you can refer to the previous semesters that we have already studied. Okay. So that a revision of those will help you to, remember those principles that we have learned. And when you properly understand and remember it, then only you will be able to apply. Okay.
Okay, sir.
1 minute. Okay. So you could see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Why I am not able to see? 1 minute. Let me see again. Yes. Yes. Okay, fine. Yes. So now we have moved on to number 3, viewpoint. So this viewpoint also will depict a scenario. Okay. And from this point of view, that is correct. Okay. So this number 3, when we come to number 3, then the weightage of truth increases further, because we are going to consider something that is happening in the soul, not outside the soul. So number 1 was outside the soul, outside the body. Okay. The external association, house, car, family, etc. The number 2 was body and karma. That was still outside the soul. But when we come to number 3, it is Sadbhut, existent. So these things will exist inside the soul, but not in the pure soul, but in the modification. So there are two components to this. Can anyone remember what are the two components of number 3? First day I taught you from the chart, directly from the chart. 3A, 3B. What is 3A? 100% toxic emotions. And B part is partial pure sentiments. Okay. So these are the two components of number 3. And let's understand what is number 3 about. So the name of this number 3 viewpoint is figurative, existent, conventional point of view. Okay. This point of view attributes all impure sentiments. Okay. First part is 100% toxic emotion, impure sentiments like attachments, aversions, delusions, auspicious and inauspicious dispositions, all kinds of passions to the soul's action. Okay. Attributes all impure sentiments to the soul's actions. So you could see passions, then delusions, attachments, aversions. The soul is considered to be doer of all these. Okay, from number 3. Then the second part, it also holds the soul as the doer of the partially pure modification, including right belief, 4 types of incomplete knowledge. What are these 4 kinds of incomplete knowledge? Sensory knowledge, scriptural knowledge, clairvoyance and telepathy, and partially pure conduct. Okay, so there are 2 components to this. One is the 100% toxic emotions, that is 3A, and the other one is 3B, the partial pure modifications. Okay, so in terms of right belief, right knowledge, right conduct, and all 4 types of knowledge. There are 5 types of knowledge, 5 types of right knowledge. Out of that, apart from omniscience, all other 4 forms the subject of this number 3 point of view called figurative existence conventional point of view. This impure disposition exists in the soul, but aren't its true nature. Realizing is the core aim of this point of view. Okay. So these impure dispositions like passions, attachments, aversions, delusions do exist in the modification of the soul, but aren't in true nature. This has arisen not by taking shelter in the soul. This has arisen because of external influence of karmas. Okay. So this is not our true nature. So we should realize this. The next, decoding the name and its meaning. Upcharit, figurative, the impure and partially pure states, 3A and 3B, are not the soul's true nature, but are attributed to it. Therefore, the soul is called Upcharit, figuratively or symbolically associated with these states. Upchar. Okay. The second word, existent, sadbhut. Despite these attributed states, the soul exists as the underlying substance where these modifications occur. Hence, it is termed sadbhut or existent. Since these toxic emotions and the partial pure modification, they exist in the modification of the soul, and that's why it is termed as existent or sadbhut. Conventional, this viewpoint operates at the level of worldly or practical truth, where distinctions are made between the soul and its attributes and modification. Okay. So these viewpoints operate at the level of worldly or practical truth, where distinctions are made between the soul. So one party is soul and the other party is its modifications. Okay. Soul and its attributes, this is one party because soul and attributes are one only. Okay. And modification is the second party. So when you divide an indivisible thing, then it becomes conventional. So this is how the conventional name has been given. The last point is point of view. Nay, it expresses a singular perspective focused on the coexistence of state within the soul, hence categorized as a nay or partial viewpoint. Next. So what are the role of this perspective? Okay. This perspective informs us about the weakness in our current state of being and how we suffer as a result. Okay. So all those 100% toxic emotions, okay, those emotions shows us the weakness in our current state of being. Okay. That's why these are manifesting. Okay. If we become strong, if we are able to practice discriminative knowledge, then the purity increases and this weaknesses decreases. So this perspective informs us about the weakness in our current state of being and how we suffer as a result. Number two, it delves into the root cause of our sorrows and motivate us to take action to overcome them. So this rise of toxic emotions helps us to delve into the root cause of our sorrows, okay, and motivates us to take action to overcome them. So how you will be able to overcome them, Priyanka ji? Tell me. From the number 2 point, and motivates us to take action to overcome them. So what action you will take to overcome?
Sir, just thinking about the different knives. So what we just discussed, to see that external element is not responsible for it. Also to apply the karma theory. So uh, when there's rise, we basically go deeper into what caused it, and then instead of looking externally, then we go deeper inside and then look what is the possible cause, and then we realize it is the fruition of the past events and so forth.
So that has already been discussed in number 2. Now we have come here at number 3, where we are discussing what is happening in the modification of the soul. And there are two components to it. One is the 100% toxic emotions and the other is partial pure modification. Okay. Now,
Okay, sir.
what motivates us to take action to overcome them? So what action we would take to get rid of these sorrows, the toxic emotions? What action you
Can I
will?
say, can I try and answer it?
Yes, yes.
You'd go into bed gyan and upyog.
Yes. So what you will do? You will take shelter in
In your
your
soul.
pure soul, self. So if you take shelter in your soul, then you will not manifest these toxic emotions. So initially in the 4th stage, the first quadruplet of passions will go. Okay. So to that extent, there will be purity. Okay. The purity will be also there and the impurity will also coexist. Okay. But the action that you have taken by taking shelter in the soul has helped you to overcome these toxic emotions to a great extent. Because when you realize yourself and when you get rid of the first quadruplet, 99% of the passion is gone. It's only very minute passions remaining. Okay. So This action you have to take. Every time you want to get into that happy space, you have to practice discriminative knowledge. And practicing descriptive knowledge means taking shelter of the soul. Then only the process gets completed. Okay. So only merely contemplating also will not help, because contemplating will lead to punya karma, but not the purity. It is only that you practice discriminative knowledge, that you take shelter of your soul, and with that shelter of the soul, you are manifesting the purity. And with that purity, the toxic emotions to that extent doesn't arise, and that is the way that you get rid of those sorrows. Okay. So good, Darshiji, you have thought very nicely. The third,
So,
yeah,
sorry, sir, to interrupt, just to kind of go back. So, are we saying because of that second component in this stage, we are likely to think about going to take shelter in the soul?
not because of
Will
that.
that be the instrumental cause of it?
No. We are taking shelter of the soul to overcome this toxic emotions, which is a cause of our sorrow. And we want to be happy. So we have to. So it delves into the root cause of our sorrows. What is the root cause of sorrow? That we are not taking shelter of our pure soul, which is always present. Okay. In every modification, the pure soul, our own soul, is giving us, it's reflecting in our every modification. Only we have to identify it and take shelter in it. And the moment we take shelter in it, these sorrows does not arise, and that is the only way to overcome them. Okay. Understood? Priyanka, you understood?
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, sir, I understood that this is the second component of this stage is not the instrumental cause. It's it is something that's going to lead us to this state instead, the reverse of it.
Yes. Okay. So now we move on to the third point. This point of view specifically addresses the rising odaic, destructional cum subsidential, along with rise, shayab. So we had studied about 5 distinct disposition. Out of that, 4 we are going to consider here. Okay. So rising, that is odaic, then shayopshamic, then opshamic dispositions, considering them as intrinsic to the soul. Okay. So this number 3, because it contains the component of 100% toxic emotions, so that's why the rising, destructional, syopshamic, and opshamic. So syopshamic and opshamic will fall into which category? A or B?
No. In B.
B, very good. Because it is partial pure modification. And Odik Bhav will come under the category of A. Okay. Shaik is not included here because Shaik is a 100% transformation of belief attribute. Okay. And here we are considering only the partial pure modification. So Shaik will not come here.
So will Shai come in stage 14 then only?
Shaik will come in number 4. Number 4. 100%
No,
pure
I'm
modification.
saying the Gunastans. In the Gunastans, will it be only in stage?
So that Shaik can start from 4th also.
Oh, okay.
Shaik starts from 4th also, but there is a condition that you can attend Shaik Samyak Darshan only in the presence of a omniscient. And since now omniscients are not there, so nobody can have shaik right now.
Okay.
Okay. So if somebody is having a right belief, then it will be of these two kinds only. Okay. Opshamic and Shayopshamic. But Opshamic's duration is only 48 minutes. So after that, if anybody is a right believer, then he will be definitely a Shayopshamik Samyak Drashti. Shayopshamik means destructional come subsidential along with the rise. So three things happening simultaneously. Destructional. So some karma prakritis are being destroyed. Some are being subsided. And some are into fruition, rise. Okay. So mixing these three conditions forms Shayopshamik Bhav. Shay, Upsham and Uday. Okay. And the last one is subsidential, opshamik, only suppressing, that's all. Okay. So all these forms the part of number 3 viewpoint. Number 4, it provides us with awareness regarding our current position in our spiritual journey and also enables us to discern the internal purity of householders and true ascetics. Okay. Since partial pure modification is a component of this viewpoint, okay. So in that partial pure modification, there will be householder also and ascetics also, because both have manifested partial pure modification. Okay. Householder is at the 4th and 5th stage, and the ascetics are at the 6th and 7th stage. Okay. So it provides us with awareness regarding our current position, whether we are in the stage of 4th or 5th or 6th or 7th, okay, in our spiritual journey. The next point, number 5th, it encourages us to differentiate between knowledge and attachments. Attachments is rag, knowledge is gyan and rag. Okay, so this is how we practice discriminative knowledge. There should be two parties. One is knowledge, that is the soul side, and the other is attachment, that is the karma side. Okay, so attachments belongs to the karma and knowledge belongs to the soul. So there is a discrimination being created in the knowledge between the two, experiencing them as entirely distinct entities and manifesting the right belief. So when you experience them as entirely distinct entities, one side is knowledge, the other side is attachment, that is the time you realize yourself and you manifest the right belief. Okay. So this is the 5th point. So this particular number 3 point of view helps in the discriminative knowledge process. Here the process begins from here, number 3 point of view. Okay. And right belief is also manifested at this point of view. Number 3. Some further discussions. Figurative, existent, conventional point of view. Many statements within Dravyan Yoga are expressed from this point of view. Why? Anybody? Open to all. Who will answer? Many statements within Dravyan Yoga are expressed from this point of view. Simple. Logic. Rajeshri ji, you tell.
No, sir, I will not be able to answer. No, I don't know.
Dravyan Yoga deals with,
With the
deals
with
with
the history of Tirthankars and all the people,
no.
right? No.
Dravyan Yoga deals with discriminative knowledge. And here we are discriminating between the soul and the attachment. Just now we discussed, no? Knowledge and attachments are two distinct entities. So this discrimination is a subject of Dravyan Yoga. So Dravyan Yoga is included in this nay. Dravyanयोग forms a part of. Many statements within Dravyanयोग are expressed from this point of view, offering insight into our shortcomings and inspiring us by illuminating the path followed by enlightened souls who were once like us. Okay, so they were like us only, the Tirthankars and the souls who have liberated. They were just like us, and from there they began this journey of science of discrimination. They learned these two things, one part is myself, I'm the pure soul, and the other part is a result of the influence of external entities like karmas. Okay, so there are two different parties. One belongs to the matter substance, the other belongs to the soul substance. Now discriminating this between two helps in realizing ourself. Okay, so offering insight into our shortcomings, to the extent the impurities are there, that is our shortcoming, and inspiring us by illuminating the path followed by enlightened souls. So they were like us. From there, they did this discrimination. They realized themselves and they started walking on the path of liberation. Gradually, they advanced to the 5th stage, then the 6th, 7th, then 8th, 9th, 10th, 12th, 13th, and they got liberated. Okay. So Ravan took rebirth in hell due to his pride. So this is part A or B, 3A or 3B. Sasikala ji.
No, sir. 100% toxic.
Yes, very good. Because it's a passion. So 100% toxic emotion forms part 3A. Lion attained the right belief after listening to the ascetic sermon. Okay. So Mahavir Bhagwan, who did not do the right things when he was the grandson of Adinath Bhagwan, Marichi, in the birth of Marichi. But when the predestined time came, although he was in the animal kingdom, like he was in the birth of a lion, but he still attained right belief. Okay, after listening to the ascetic sermon. Now, the important points of this particular number 3, despite our present imperfections, okay, the essential nature of the soul within has never lost its internal purity. Such a good statement. Despite our present imperfections, that is 3A, the essential nature of the soul within has never lost its internal purity. So these attachments are not my true nature. I am a knower and these impurities are distinct from me. Okay. The second point, this point of view motivates us to introspect and seek the pure soul element hidden within the impure modifications. So impurity has not entered the pure soul. It is just there in the modification, and modification is of only one moment. Okay, so we are not worried. Let the impurities be there in the modification. It is only of one moment. And I am eternal, Anadi Anant, okay, unchangeable, uninfluenced, complete in myself. Okay, so this is how you practice between self and the non-self. Distinguishing between one's pure self and temporary pure emotion is the goal of this point of view. So main operation is being done here. In terms of truth value, this point of view carries greater weightage than the previous point of view, but less than the next one. So what is the next one? Is the 4th point. Anupcharit Sadbhut Vyavhar Nay. Anupcharit Sadbhut Vyavhar Nay. That is literal, existent, conventional point of view. What are the two subjects of this number 4, A and B? The first one is 100% pure modifications. So Saik Samyak Drashti will come under number 4. If you will ask me where Saik Samyak Drashti will come under the conventional point of view, I will say number 4. If you ask me where Saik Samyak Drashti will be under the real point of view, then I will say number 7. Understood? Why not 6? Can anybody answer? Why not 6?
Because we said the first 3 in the Nishchaya.
Pardon?
So because we said the first 3 components are conventional in the Nishchaya also.
Yeah.
I mean, to some extent, they have some conventional aspect.
Yes,
They're
yes.
not
So when we
fully-
move on to the next one, it becomes a conventional one. That I said, okay. But why it is number 7 and not 6? Because number 6, the subject is partial pure modification. And I am talking about Saik Samyak Drishti, 100% pure modification. So that will form either number 4 if we are considering conventional point of view. If you will ask me from the real point of view, then I will say number 7. Okay. So this you will understand later on when we discuss number 7. Okay. So we have just seen the chart last week. From there also you could have told me. But anyways, it's a bit difficult for you at this stage, but you will understand. So literal, existent, conventional point of view. Okay. This point of view provides insight into the soul from the perspective of its pure modification, 4A, 100% pure modification, and its infinite attributes, gun bhed. Okay. So this is B. The gun bhed is B. And gun bhed is called distinctions among the infinite attributes is called gunbhed. Gunbhed means you are pointing each attribute differently, like this is knowledge, this is perception, this is bliss, like that. Okay, this is called gunbhed. So when you keep on doing this gunbhed, you are still in the conventional point of view. If you want to realize yourself, then you have to take shelter of your soul, which is an indivisible mass. Okay. So when you make a division in an indivisible thing, it becomes conventional point of view. So this is the 4th conventional point of view. Literal existent. Okay. So it has got 2 components. One is 100% pure modification, A, and B is what? Gunbhed. Distinction among infinite attributes. Okay. It is crucial to remember that distinctions are made solely for the purpose of explanation and do not lead to the direct experience of the pure soul. So long you will be in the distinctions, you will not be able to realize yourself. If you want to realize yourself, you have to let go all the distinctions and only take one indivisible mass as your object. Then only you will be able to manifest the passionlessness, vitrakta. So knowledge, perception, bliss, these are different attributes and there are infinite such attributes. And this is omniscience modification, that is 100% pure modification. Decoding the name, how many minutes are left? Okay, 7 minutes are left. Decoding the name and its meaning. Literal, anupcharit. The pure attributes and modification are truly of the soul and not just attributed. Hence, they are anupcharit, literal or actual. However, even these do not exist independently of the soul. Existent. This real pure modification reside within the soul itself affirming its status as Sadbudh, the true existent. Vyavhar, although the viewpoints deal with real attributes, the separation of soul and its attributes is not ultimately real. It is understood conventionally. And why it is point of view? This is a one-sided standpoint that emphasizes attributes and completely pure modification of the soul. Hence, termed as Nai, a partial viewpoint. Okay, so we have decoded the name. Now, what are its roles, perspectives? Okay, it imparts knowledge about the boundless potential of our soul because infinite attributes. Okay, so this infinite attributes and the pure modifications imparts knowledge about the boundless potential of our soul. We are possessing this. Okay, each and every soul possesses these infinite attributes. Not a soul is inferior and not a single soul is superior. All are equal because all possesses these infinite attributes. That is our wealth, true wealth. Okay, so this is number one. It instills a sense of completeness and purity based on our intrinsic power. Okay, so this also elevates us, It instills a sense of completeness and purity based on our intrinsic power. So we have this potential. Our intrinsic power is always present. Only thing is that we forget about it and then we beg for sensual pleasures. Okay, we are ourselves a mass of infinite attributes, but we forget our this nature and beg to the senses to give happiness by eating, by smelling, by listening, all the five senses you can take down. Number three, it demonstrates that Aryans and Siddhas have actualized this purity and are immersed in eternal bliss. Okay, this point of view demonstrates that Aryans and Siddhas are the position that can be achieved. It is not imaginary. They were like us one day, and from there they rose and they practiced discriminative knowledge and they attained the post of Aryant and Siddhas. And we also can attain that if we walk on their footsteps, listen to their instructions, sermons, and act accordingly. Okay, so we can also materialize that state. Number four, it cultivates belief in the power of omniscience and omniscient lords whose teachings have illuminated the path to liberation. Okay, so we are all possessing this power of omniscience. Each and every soul possesses this power. Okay, only if we believe, then it will manifest in the modification also. But first the belief has to come that I am the powerhouse of all these infinite attributes, and this omniscience knowledge is going to come out of me and not from any external entity. Okay, so whose teachings have illuminated the path to liberation. Fifth point, the viewpoint redirects attention away from impurities and imperfections, urging us to concentrate on absolute purity, which is our true essence. Okay, so this much science of discrimination also is being played by this fourth number 9 conventional point of view. Sixth point, it inspires us to strive towards manifesting omniscience as it is inherent within our nature. Okay, each and every soul can manifest because this power exists in each and every soul. Not a single soul is greater and not a single soul is lesser. All are equal, all have infinite attributes. Okay, only thing is that those who put efforts according to the acharyas, they will be able to manifest this. Number 7, among the 5 distinctive disposition of the soul, this perspective primarily addresses destructional disposition, shaik bhav. Okay, destructional disposition. This point of view is predominantly employed in the scriptures of Dravyan Yoga, because all hidden treasure of our wealth and everything. So definitely this is Dravyan Yoga. Mahavir Bhagwan has manifested omniscience. He's in the Samosaran showing the path of liberation to infinite souls, worldly existence. Soul is composed of knowledge, perception, and bliss. Important. So this is the last, I think this is the last slide. No, there are a few more that we'll see tomorrow, not tomorrow, the next week, but let me finish this one. It conveys that our soul has also retained its absolute purity despite being ensnared by karmas. Okay, our internal purity, absolute purity is untouched. Although there are impurities in the modification, but that impurities of modification does not enter our pure soul. It retains its absolute purity all the time. So just enjoy. Not a single attribute has been marred or scratched by its existence with matter. Okay. Not a single attributes we have lost. Okay. This dispels feeling of helplessness and despair, evoking a sense of contentment and joy. Okay. This dispels, destroys feelings of helplessness, bicharapan, and despair, depression, evoking a sense of contentment and joy, as we now understand that we have remained undisturbed and untainted. Okay. 3 quotes. I have infinite attributes that are my true wealth. Pure passionlessness is my true nature. And the last one, my knowledge has the potential for omniscience. Okay. Next. Relative comparison. Now this relative comparison we will do in the next class, and then we will move on to the real point of view. If the slides are ready, I will explain you from the slides. If the slides are not ready, then we will do it from the text. Okay. Hopefully I'll be able to share the textbook by Saturday, most probably. And you can take a printout. That will be the final after the review of all the mistakes. Still there will be 1 or 2 mistakes, but while preaching, I will let you know if I come across anything. Okay. Otherwise, it's absolutely flawless. The ChatGPT version, latest one, has considerably improved, and we are getting very quality things. Okay. So this we will do in the next class, 37. Our time is over now. If you want to ask any questions in today's discussion, any doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, we will close for the day.
Rajesh sir, I have a question.
Okay.
In the previous slide, not the one that you said you'll take next week, but the one before that.
Yes.
One of the important points that came across was, I didn't understand it properly, but what I saw was that if you've done any wrong in the past,
Right.
it hasn't really touched your soul. That's why your soul remains unmarked.
Yes.
Okay.
So that is a way of practicing pratikaman. Okay. So you have done many wrong things in the past, and you are experiencing guilt because of that. Okay. So to remove that guilt, they say that these have not touched, these karmas have not touched you. Be happy. Don't worry. This karma doesn't touch us. Okay. So from that perspective, this is being said.
Right.
So Acharya have a very clear-cut policy. If you express your mistake, he will pamper you. If you say that I don't make any mistakes, then he will scold you. Okay. So he will strike a balance among all the perspectives. Okay. So if you are getting a fever from heat, he will give you cold medicine. If you are having a fever from cold, then it will give you hot medicines. Okay. So the idea is to balance among everything. Okay. Anything else? Anybody else? Good. So we'll meet up next week and we'll continue
Sir,
from there. Yeah.
Sir, I think I'll read this and like try to create my own chart referencing to the previous charts.
Yes.
And maybe, sir, we can talk about like an example for each category.
Definitely. We are going to discuss about the 4 conventional viewpoints next week and with an example. Earlier also we have discussed this, the bai and chapati and the driving of the car, right? So these examples we have already discussed and again we will be discussing in the next class. No issues. But this chart you have to prepare in any ways for your concept clarity paper 2. Okay. So if you start preparing right now, it's good. But you have to keep on adding points. Okay. So that's one thing. So if you add all these points, then you will have everything at a glance.
Okay, sir. Thank
Okay. Good. निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना